Hi, I'm Bernie Slavin and welcome to my new YouTube channel. My channel will be driven by football, my love of football, my love of animals. There'll be fun, there'll be cock-ups. And for those that don't know me, and I'm sure there's many billions out there that don't know me, I was fortunate to play professional football for several clubs, the most prominent being Middlesbrough Football Club. I arrived in Teesside in Middlesbrough in 1984-85 season and went on to play until 1992. So that's just under 8 years. I was fortunate to play 382 games, scoring 147 goals, and also represented the Republic of Ireland despite my Scottish accent, and played under the late great Jack Charlton and went to the World Cup finals as part of the 22-man squad in Italia 90. So great memories as a footballer. When my football career finished, I was fortunate to get into radio. I ended up doing the commentating with a guy called Ali Brownlee. Sadly, he's no longer with us. Great guy. He taught me everything I know about radio. And we were fortunate to do 500 games. It was a golden era for Middlesbrough Football Club. You know, going from playing and then all of a sudden commentating, great, but not as good as playing, but still great nevertheless. It was a great job. And we ended up commentating in 5 cup finals. It was a golden era for Middlesbrough Football Club. We played cup finals at Wembley, we played in Cardiff, we played in Eindhoven. It was dreamland. 2 years of European football, jetting around Europe, watching who you love and enjoy, Middlesbrough Football Club. After that, or aside that, I was doing a show called The Three Legends in radio. It was on every weekday between 6 and 8. And at that time of night, we had record figures, not just here in the North East, but right throughout the country. And I was fortunate and blessed to be doing that for about, we did 3,000 shows. That was over 11, 12 years. So great time commentating, playing, and involved in football. These days I host the lounges along with several other guys at the Riverside Stadium, the home of Middlesbrough Football Club. I enjoy that as well, mixing with the punter and doing a post and pre-match chat, a pre and post-match chat. I also do podcasts. Every Monday and Friday I do a podcast. Then I do Facebook Lives every Borough game, home and away. I watch the game, I go to all the home games, I stay put and watch them on my telly, watching the away games, and then I talk about them afterwards in the Facebook Live. And obviously now I've got my own YouTube channel, so I'm intrigued, I'm looking forward to it. And but throughout my career, I've had a slot for many years. I used to do a thing called Borough TV. It was a station connected with the club, it was NTL at the time. And I used to do a slot called Bernie's About, where I was fortunate to go and interview guys like the late great Brian Clough. There was Graham Souness, Bobby Murdoch, who won the European Cup for Celtic. Obviously Souness won 2, 3, even with Liverpool. Paddy Crerand, Manchester United legend, he also won the European Cup, played with George Best, Dennis Law. There was Peter Beardsley. I was one of Beardsley's best ever fan. What a player he was. Janino, obviously Janino. There was Peter Shilton. The list is endless. As I say, I remember going to Rome to interview Ravanelli. I did Ravanelli over in Rome, and that was a great treat as well. Yeah, some thought he was a big time Charlie, probably was, but there was some celebration. I had pulling his jumper over his head and exposing his six pack. And Craig Johnson, the guy who brought out, you remember the Predator book? He played a massive part in that. So I've interviewed some wonderful names. Paul Gascoigne, he's another one. But there's endless lists. So rather than playing audio, it's not going to be visual in the coming months. As I say, it's not going to be a boring football. I'd like to talk a bit about music, a bit about certain topics, answer a few questions, bit of daftness when I go on holiday. So it's going to be packed with stuff, and I'm trying to make it slick as opposed to boring. Too many boring things out there, and too many liars out there. People don't want to say the truth, and I'm not behind. I just want to have a bit of fun and enjoy being part of the YouTube culture. So thanks for joining us. And don't forget, the YouTube is going to be hosted on the 20th of January 2022. So the 20th of January 2022, I'll be launching the YouTube channel. And from there on, it'll be a promo. And then we'll be kicking off and getting into it. Thanks very much. You were born and bred in Middlesbrough. What was it like growing up in the borough?
Well, I was very happy, Bernie. Extremely happy. I fell into football because I was thick academically, as you've already established talking to me.
Hey there, Graham. Good afternoon. Long way to come. I hope it's worthwhile. How you doing? All right.
I think it's not doing the game any good.
Well, Bobby, thanks very much for talking to us for us TV.
My pleasure, Benny.
Hope to see you in Teesside.
Right, I would like, they've got relatives down there anyway, you know, so they do get it down there occasionally.
Was there any better players here than Lord Best and Charlton?
Yeah, on the subject of George Best, no doubt you've been asked that a million times about
Yeah.
Best. What was he like and how good was he? What was
Just
he like
smashing
as a person?
fella. He was a great fella. He was just like any other footballer. I mean, the unfortunate thing about life and it's fans out there that put people on pedestals. I mean, you're only an ordinary working class, the majority of footballers, 99%. And it's very difficult to, well, would they think this much of me? But George had just that much ability. But a nicer lad that you couldn't wish to meet, Bernie. Lovely, lovely lad he was. And we still see quite a bit of him. In actual fact,
This week in Bernie's About, we're here in Newcastle. We're here to talk to the one and only Big Jack Charlton. Hold on, is that him at the window? Thank God, it's Jack, he's there. We'll see what he's got to say.
Listen, Bernie, before we start,
Go on,
do you still talk to the dog on the phone? Or is the dog,
I told you not to mention that. Yeah, of course I do, yeah.
well, I was a little bit perturbed that you're showing your arse on television as well, by the way. My players don't do that.
I apologise, Jack.
Well, Wolf, Lanny, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. Final at Leeds to talk about his time in Teesside. You were playing for FC Porto in Portugal. What attracted you to Middlesbrough?
I was 24 years old and attracted by the idea of playing football.
Newcastle manager Bobby Robson for England. How good is he? You know, what's his qualities?
His qualities are he always respects the players and looks after the players. In all my time with England, you know, I had something like 5 years with him with England, and never once did he put us in a bad position where he blamed the players. You know, sometimes, you know, Bernie, you played the game. You have to, as players, hold your hands up sometimes and say, yeah, we've had a bad day. But he never once put us in that position, you know, and he always gave us the respect that we deserved and never really put us under pressure. He took a lot of flack, you know, and that was probably the time when England managers started taking stick.
When was relegated, you were the first player to leave, and I accuse you of jumping ship. In other words, you left. You were the first to leave. Why did you leave? Did you have to leave so quickly?
Well, that's why we have a lot.
Times about the Maradona incident, you know, the handball. Did you know at that split second that he'd used his hand?
The biggest thing that really I sort of remember about it now is that everybody keeps saying to me, why did you knock his head off?
Well, that's what my next question. Why didn't you whip him out?
Well, to be fair, there was no, even my career, I never flinched for going for a 50-50 ball. You know, you sort of go, I was always going head first. I mean, some keepers these days tend to go feet first, but I always went head first. I always, you know, nothing stopped me. In that instance, it wasn't one of those situations.
How highly would you rate an Old Firm game in the atmosphere?
Yeah, you have to witness it. Fortunately, me, touch wood. I played in 11 and was unbeaten. Started in 11 and come on sub and we got beat, but I come on sub that one. But in 11 I actually played. I was unbeaten in which was record that? I think it was 7 wins, 4 draws. So it was good.
The time at Juventus was very satisfactory for me.
You scored the European Cup final. Was that the highlight of your club career?
Talking about that, this very moment sends shivers to my spine. It had always been a dream to score in the Champions League final. As we were progressing through the rounds, having scored already 5 goals in that competition, I was thinking all the time about playing and maybe scoring in the final. I knew that we would play the final in
Your
Rome.
Borough debut against Everton 1978. Any memories of that debut?
The two memories that stand out is the first time I was ever a footballer, which is what you're talking about, that Everton match. And the second one was scoring the FA Cup final against Everton again. So, yeah, it means a dreadful lot to me. I mean, I could have never played football ever again after that 2 or 3 moments where I stood out there and said, hey, it's me. And, you know, sort of, you hear the crowd and the ball comes to you and you do something, you flick it, and then the crowd responds to the flick, and you go, whoa. Yeah, what a buzz. Hard to explain, but you know how it works.
Stephen tries a shot. Oh, what a goal! here for Slaven, and Slaven scores! 102 minutes gone. Nice ball, finds Bernie Slaven. Slaven with a chance to get in on goal here. Oh, the ball's stuck there, but he's still in possession. Rolls it in. Oh, a cool bit of finishing there by Bernie Slaven.